There he is. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Got you. I'm doing great, man. It's a great day to be great. So I appreciate you hopping on with us.
Of course, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, right on. Well, first and foremost, just to give you and then everyone a background. So this little like IG Live series here has really been based off of other members of the Leaders Create Leaders program, which I saw your YouTube presentation and man, it was killer. So hopefully we can drop a little bit of YouTube knowledge. We don't want to give away all the gold, but maybe just to kick off, you could tell everybody what you do, kind of where you're based, what your day-to-day looks like, kind of where your zone of genius is, and then we'll just jump into like a little update about how your business is coping right now, and then we'll just dive into some knowledge.
Yeah, man. Definitely. I appreciate you having me on here. It's incredible to be part of the same mastermind group. And
Yeah.
so for myself, I got started in real estate. So rewinding a little bit, I was an engineer, took 2 degrees in 3 years. After a year and a half in engineering, I quit because I realized that the corporate world just wouldn't give me the lifestyle that I want. So I got
Amen.
into real estate.
Amen.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, but
Right?
I got into real estate in the worst markets in North America. Was young, didn't know anybody, no experience, no nothing,
Yeah.
and started hitting the doors. And I door knocked in the snow, in hail,
Oh man.
and I put the boots on the ground. But what I started realizing is that I got on social media and figured that if I don't know anybody, have no impact, have no sphere, then I need to get in front of people somehow. So I got on
Yeah.
Instagram, started leveraging Instagram, and 10 months later was recognized as one of the top 30 realtors in the world on social media, just behind the $500,000 listing.
Let's go.
Um,
Love
yeah,
that.
so that was really cool, man. And then I started leveraging Facebook ads, and that really worked out really well as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah.
And then I got into YouTube because I saw that this is a platform that was being used by a lot of people, but not leveraged properly or to the
Hmm.
capacity that I thought. And it was kind of interesting because I was primarily just real estate, but over the
Yeah.
course of that journey, I started having people from every single industry reach out to me saying, Mike, I
Yeah.
saw that you built a personal brand. I see your marketing. I see your videos. How do I do the same? So I started realizing that my reach was actually further than just real
For sure.
estate,
Yeah, yeah.
and the demand was there. So that's what birthed high converting content, where now we've been able to work with some incredible people. We just brought on The Passion of You, one of the biggest podcasts in the world, with
Nice.
features
Yeah.
like Tony Robbins and them. And we get to work with some really cool people, but also some people that are just getting started, looking to launch a channel.
Yeah.
Now I make about 10 times more on my YouTube channel than people with a channel 10 times the size, which is kind of a
Mhm.
cool 100 multiple. And now
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. I love that, man. So to dive into like where the business is at right now, how have things developed over this kind of strange season we're in? Are you guys still trucking along, or what's kind of the status update there?
Man, it's been, I don't like to say that it's a positive thing, but it's been unbelievable for business because in my opinion, it was one of these rude awakenings that people needed, not from
Yeah.
obviously the implications of what's happening negatively, but from understanding that things happen and their businesses aren't in a position that they otherwise needed it to
Mhm.
be in case something happened. So for us, a lot of our clients have now come to us realizing they need additional income, they need a system and a process, and they need to scale leveraging online
Yeah.
strategies if they're from home. So it's actually, helped us. We've been attracting about 5 to 6 clients per day on average for
That's
people that
incredible.
want to, leverage different platforms, funnels, systems, and build their business online.
I love that, man. I mean, congratulations on that. And it's funny. The theme of these conversations have been a lot of these people in the Leaders Create Leaders community have been able to pivot and have like explored that alternative business model. Luke, who I was talking to last week, they had F45 gyms and then had to go all online to a training model to build that out. And like the
Yeah.
pivots are really cool, and it's exciting to know you've been able to push on. But I know, like, so for me, what I really wanted to powwow on and just extract a little bit of your knowledge for was just around the idea of where you were just hitting on, people that are looking to kind of build that alternative source of income, build the brand, build the personal brand. And I think a lot of my community is really early on in that idea. They're kind of learning about it. We don't necessarily have a lot of like top tier executors right now. So maybe we could just take it from like day one, like how can we start laying the foundation, understanding what we really need to be doing and what's achievable in the first 30, 60, 90 days as we're trying to build a personal brand. How do we find where we want to go, and then how do we help decide our trajectory to get there? It's a very long answer. We can kind of pick pieces or pick platforms, but would just love to start there and kind of see where we end up.
Yeah, definitely, man. So for people that are looking to get started, my biggest advice is always to pick two platforms that you want to go all in on. I see so many
Love
people
that.
that are trying to do it all at once. And,
Mhm.
you know, one of our primary services is actually content repurposing. So all they do is record once and we create and distribute for every
Yeah.
platform. But if you don't maybe have the money to invest into your business yet and you're just getting started, the best thing is to choose two contrasting platforms
Hmm.
that you can go all in on. So for me, it was Instagram and YouTube right now. So Instagram is shorter form, more in the now, and YouTube is
Yeah.
more longer form, evergreen, long term. So by choosing two platforms that kind of contrast each other, you can reach the widest audience, but also make the biggest impact on that audience. And I think the next thing is making sure that you've got a plan. I'm a big advocate of reverse engineering where you want to be. So I see a lot of people saying, well, I'm going to start posting 2 YouTube videos a week, or I'm going to be posting
Hmm.
3 times on Instagram a week. But why? Why are you doing that? Where are you trying to go?
Yeah.
Because if you're just posting for the sake of posting, you're going to be spinning the wheels. But if you look at, okay, I want to have this much income coming from this platform or generate this many
Yeah.
clients from this platform, you can start to reverse engineer it and break it down so that the content you're posting builds off one another and starts leading you towards that goal. And then the third thing I would say
Yeah.
is you need to be consistent. And I see so many people that
That's
try,
the,
like
yeah.
from, you know, for me with YouTube, I decided last year in January that I'm going to go all in and start building a channel. So I did
Yeah.
3 videos a week for 52 weeks straight. And for the first 6 months, I got no more than 200 views, no traction, no clients, no
Yeah.
results, but I committed to the process. And lo and behold, now I've got one of the biggest growing YouTube channels in real estate as well as social media that's built my entire business for me, evergreen with no marketing. So you
Incredible.
need
Yeah.
to
I love
make sure that you know, stay super committed and consistent to the process, because if you're executing on the right things,
that.
might
Hmm.
not happen today, tomorrow, next week, next year, but it will happen because it's proven. And this is what I find so interesting by so many people is
Yeah.
you can give them the blueprint, right? Like, you know, Gerard can say go do this, Tony Robbins can say go do that. The only difference between us and them is they did it, is they
I love
actually
it.
execute on it.
Yeah.
And we
That's
say, oh, it's nice to know that plan, but
true.
they don't take action on it, right? And I
Yeah.
think that's the only separator between those that are where they are now and where they want to be, is the ones that where they want to be are the ones that took that plan and
Yeah.
had no expectations of how long it's going to take. They just trusted the process, knowing that it will work out.
Oh, that, yeah. I mean, that's so strong. And like, a lot of our conversations around it, and we're kind of in a similar space to you, like helping people develop their personal brands through content, social media. We do video project work too locally in Raleigh, North Carolina. So a lot of those conversations, we have a right line with yours. It's like, hey, we really got to be putting that effort in for 5, 6 months to really start reaping the rewards of what we're doing. We have to, trust and believe in the content we're creating, the brand that we're developing. But I love kind of hearing that echoed from you, and it makes me feel a little bit better about those conversations as well, knowing that we're in the trenches together. Let's go to like the foundation of it. The idea of like, hey, I think it would be cool to have a brand. I want to try to develop something. How do you help someone think through that process of where they should go with that? Like, coming back to a passion and interest, how do you help someone understand that this is something worth putting their time and effort into, to like to do what you're saying, like really start executing the plan?
Yeah, it's such an easy conversation to have because it's simply a matter of asking somebody, look at your own behavior, look at
Yeah.
consumer behavior. Why do you watch Gary Vee's content about social media versus somebody else? Because he's got the biggest personal brand. Why would you
Yeah.
pay $10,000 to go to Grant Cardone 10X
Mm.
versus why would you not pay $10,000 for Joe Blow in your market that's going to do the same style of event live in your market because he has no brand? It's looking at your own behavior. And so many people end up doing the opposite of what they expect others to do. So they're going to
Mm.
say, well, I don't need to invest on social media. but I'm going to spend half of my day watching YouTube videos with certain people on social media to learn
Mhm.
how to grow my business.
Mhm.
So you're saying that it's not necessary, but the people that you're learning from have exactly what you're
Yeah,
talking about. There's a
strong.
disconnect there. So it's making sure that you align people with that disconnect so they understand
Yeah.
that they're acting in the exact same way that their consumers were act, but they're
Mhm.
behaving the opposite way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. I mean, kind of deconstructing your who you are as a person, where you're spending your time and focus. Like that's really strong because the proof is already kind of there in that person. You're just helping them realize it. So I love
Exactly.
that. When you think about content creation, and this is another conversation that we have a lot with people, is like how professional do I need to be with what I'm developing? Like what camera should I buy? What microphone should I get? What setup should I have? And that's always kind of front of mind for people because they're looking for this quality. But I'm curious from your breadth of the content that you guys are creating for other people, what are you seeing working right now? Like what does someone really need in order to develop great content for social? Message, equipment, whatever. Where do you say this is what high quality content means?
Yeah, high quality content comes from the value. It has nothing to do with the equipment. All you need is an iPhone, and if you've got an iPhone, the video is dialed in, it's got good
Yeah.
enough audio. Obviously, you can grow over time, but let's look at the one of the most controversial, successful ads in history. Ty Lopez here in my garage with like an iPhone 4,
Yeah.
but it blew up his business.
Yeah.
And that's what people fail to remember is the fact that you could have a $60,000 production crew come record a video, and if you're not able to deliver a powerful message and you've
Yeah.
got no intent and you're not providing value, it doesn't matter. And
Mm,
ultimately what it comes down to is the value that you're providing people, and people will always look past the quality, the sound, whatever, what's in the background, any of that
yeah.
nonsense, if they're getting the right value from the content,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So I think a lot of people need to remove these objections saying that the quality has to be perfect or anything like that. Like what I need people to understand is that, and always remember this, is done is better than perfect. A video that's online
I love
that
that.
is
Love that.
that's out there is doing vast amount more for your business than a video that's
Yeah.
perfect, that's edited, that's sitting on Dropbox or Google Drive because you're afraid to put it out.
Mm,
So
yeah.
you need to be mindful of the fact that it's just about sharing your knowledge and giving value to people, not leading with the ask, but leading with the give and the value.
Yeah, the jab jab, right?
Exactly.
That's great, man. That's super strong. And it's so funny. I put out a video it might have been 2 weeks ago, and it was like the worst thing you can do is not do anything. And you're missing the impressions, the chances to build that brand. So I love, like, we got a very similar mindset going here, man. I love that's strong.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So when you're thinking about, activity on a social platform, engagement with your community, how are you coaching someone through their approach and expectation for a platform like Instagram? And the reason I go here is just Instagram's front of mind for a lot of our conversations with clients. It's kind of where a lot of the focus goes right off the bat. It's like I see all these other Instagram accounts. It's where I'm most active. It's where I want to be big. But I think one of the things that we have a challenge with in a lot of cases is really like I hate to say like temper expectations, but just to be very realistic about like what we can earn from a platform like that. And I'm curious how you kind of help people think through the idea of growth on a platform like Instagram, where to me it is so tough right now compared to how it was in the past. What are you doing to, I mean, honestly, just have that conversation, help people understand what they should expect in these timeframes we're talking about?
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, the Instagram algorithm is, night and day different from what it used to be. It used to be
Mhm.
way easier to grow, way easier to monetize. And I think, that's why I've been putting a lot of focus on YouTube because that's something that's way easier to grow and monetize. But
Yeah.
I'm big on aligning expectations as well because ultimately it's unfortunate that our society and our culture is bred in the fact that a lot of people focus on vanity metrics. So
Yeah, exactly.
for example, I've got the client that I'm working with and they've got like 70,000 followers and they're wondering why their YouTube videos aren't getting as many views as other people. And I simply ask them, did you use bot automation to grow your following, or is it organic? Because 1 to 3% of your audience should be watching your videos. And they say, well, I use bot automation to grow my
Yeah.
Instagram following. Well, no fucking shit. Your audience isn't going to be
Yeah.
watching. Like, how, if you've got 60,000 Instagram followers, you should technically be having a minimum of 2 to 3,000 views on every single YouTube video based on analytics. But all these people use bot automation to get
Yeah.
these vanity metrics. And now ultimately their platforms are showing the reality of it because you can't
Right.
fake YouTube. So it's aligning those expectations. But I also urge people to think too, is the fact that it's not necessarily about the quantity of the numbers, it's about the quality of the numbers, because I've got friends that have more dollars or have more followers than dollars in their bank account, right? I've got friends that have
Yeah.
150 to a million followers on Instagram, but they're broke as fuck. So it's like, wouldn't you rather have 10,000, 20,000,
Yep.
500? For most people, if you've got $1,000 platform and you had 500 quality followers, you could be making $500,000 a year. But what you're thinking about is, how can I get 50,000 so I can look like I'm crushing it?
Yeah.
And then, but what the problem is that when you're focusing on building your business off these vanity metrics, ultimately the reality will come to fruition once people start working with you and seeing, oh, where's the testimonials? Oh, where's the case studies? Oh,
Yeah.
where's the results? Why am I not getting the same thing?
Yeah.
And when you're preaching something that you can't provide, now
Yeah.
there's back to that disconnect.
Bro, that's the mic drop moment of the line right there. That's the mic drop moment. That's incredible. I love how you just put that together in terms of like the proof is really in these cross-platform analytics. If it's not there, like, let's go back to how you built that audience. Like, let's have some tough conversations, but really peel back the vanity and say, hey, this is where we're at right now, man. So that's super strong. I got to ask my question. It hasn't come up in the conversation yet. What's up with TikTok with you?
Yeah, man, TikTok. It's such an interesting one, man, because I actually have one of the number one videos on YouTube about TikTok, and I've been featured
Yeah,
on every.
okay, that's exactly right. Because I saw that, and I was
Yeah,
like, what's Mike doing? Like, is this going or what?
yeah, man, and I've been featured on all these articles about TikTok for
Yeah.
business, and here's a couple things for me. Number one, I think it's an incredibly relevant platform. Number two, I think it's incredibly strong play. I know there's this ambiguity going on about, is US going to ban it? Is it going to stay? Is it going to go?
Yeah.
Whatever. I personally made the mistake of not going in on it as much as I should have,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that it's an incredible platform, especially for the reason that you can cross promote your Instagram and YouTube to it. So even
Right.
if
Yeah.
your target audience isn't on TikTok, you can still grow other platforms by driving the incredible reach on TikTok
Yeah.
to your Instagram or your YouTube. The problem for me is that honestly, I just got too busy with the growth of our business, which kind of took off quicker than expected, that
Yeah.
I didn't want to divert my focus on what I was exceeding really well with.
Mm,
So
I like that. Okay.
for anybody that is, has the capacity to leverage it, I fully support it, and I think it's an incredible platform. I will take ownership of making the mistake that I didn't invest the right
Mm,
attention and time into it.
yeah. Yeah. Hey, I mean, probably a good problem to have that your business is growing to the point where it's like, let me just, like you said, like focus on the channels I can execute on. We know it's there. It's relevant. If, something changes, I can go to it. But yeah, I think it's definitely interesting. We talk a lot of people when we get to that point of like, I'm looking for viral growth. I'm looking for big views on content. Like, hey, TikTok may be an interesting test for you. Say, hey, let's stay consistent for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and see if you're able to drive that mass awareness. Like you said, link your other accounts and see what that conversion could look like between them. So I love that. The last thing I wanted to hit on in terms of just like questions for you, and then I just was going to let you drop a little knowledge if you had anything cooking in your brain, but was help people kind of understand this idea of how you're able to drive more revenue from a channel that is smaller than some of your counterparts, just given the niche and then the ability to engage your audience. Maybe you could help people just understand that, because I think that's missed a lot of times in these social media conversations.
Yeah, big time. I think it's a great question. So for me, you kind of hit the nail on the head with one of the aspects of it is the fact that I do have a niche channel. So it's specifically tailored to people that are in my target demographic. So the competition when looking at from an AdSense perspective is much higher because the competition is much greater for this very niche channel. But from a true revenue perspective, which I make about 10 to 20 times more per month from driving traffic off of YouTube, is
Mm,
most people are solely relying on AdSense, which can be good, but ultimately that's not going to make you much. what really comes into play is when you can start driving that traffic to other places. Like if you build up, for me, I built up recognition in helping agents with Facebook ads, Instagram, and YouTube. So people have built up a authority and credibility and the like, know, and trust factor with me over the course of the last year, where they feel like they know me and they see the value of giving for free. Now, when I launch something, if I include a link in the description, they'll go buy it. So it's looking at how can you monetize that far above and beyond what YouTube allows you to. Because if you look at any of the people that are crushing it on YouTube, whether it be brand endorsements or whether it be coaching programs or platforms or products, it's certainly not from YouTube. The people that are crushing it are making their money off of YouTube just from that YouTube audience. So it's making sure that when you go in, again, it's all about reverse engineering it. If you've got a fitness plan that you want to launch online, it's making sure that you're putting out the right videos, but also having the right links and funnels in place that if that video blows up, you're able to monetize it. Where a lot of people go wrong is they say, I'm going to wait until I've got 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to monetize my YouTube channel. But the problem is that if you've got 500 subscribers and suddenly one of those fitness videos pops off and gets 250,000 views, and you didn't have those links in place, you just missed out on one of the biggest opportunities to make income from your channel. So it's about looking big and reverse engineering it and breaking it down so that you've got the right platforms and systems in place to leverage your audience to the fullest extent.
That's really strong, and kind of analogy, and tell me if I'm right with this, and we can tweak it if not. But it's like, what kind of pipeline do you have connected to these pieces of content that are floating out in the universe? And if you want there to be some sort of link that's carrying people to a lead magnet or a funnel or something of some sort, so when that piece of content goes, which we all want it to be, is there a path for those people to engage with you beyond the subscribe and comment? And understanding what that looks like for your brand, whether it's fitness, food, travel, coaching, whatever it may be, is an essential aspect of driving revenue. Is that kind of a fair way to probably?
100%. And I think it's just a good process for people as entrepreneurs to understand in general, whether it be from social media or whether it be from anything. It's, you look at the businesses that go from 5 to 6 figures, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, the key component to going to that next tier is having the right systems and processes that are automated on the back end, not the front facing stuff that everybody's seeing, but what's going on internally. So where a lot of people are going wrong is they're just thinking of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, and not saying, okay, I need to go in with a plan and execute on it. And that's why they get lackluster results, is because they've got very much a lackluster plan in place.
That's strong. So and so don't hesitate to try to build that framework or system on the back end when you're starting to build your brand. It doesn't always just have to be the content. What's behind that, backing it up. Well, dude, Mike, I have to say you dropped a lot of knowledge today. I'm really excited to do some little content repurposing with this, cut up some of these gems and get them out. We'll also post the full long form thing. But I guess, I like to send it back to you at the end. Is there something that you think is super important for people to keep front of mind today? Words of wisdom, advice, quotes, whatever it may be. It's your time to shine, man.
Yeah, man. I like to make it simple. I think a lot of people are overcomplicating things. I think a lot of people are looking for the golden nugget, the golden goose, the secret to success, the key to millions. And when you break it down to its simplest form, look at one of my mentors. I'm wearing the Arte shirt right now, Andy Frisella. One of the things that you see as a key component to everybody that's made success is the only thing they did is execute on small things and get them done every single day. So the ones that win are not these people that have these bursts of motivation that suddenly come into 1 month with all this fire and excitement and go all in and burn out at the end of the month. The ones that win are the ones that ultimately execute on the small things that they need to get done, not the things they want to get done, every single day for weeks, for months, for years. And then it comes together, because somebody that's consistently executing on the tasks that move the needle versus the things they want to do because it's exciting far surpass them in the long run. But everybody's also chasing the shiny penny and doing what they want to do. Like, fuck yeah, it's more fun to go create like a video than to give that hard call to a client that's struggling, or to cold call people because you want to grow your business. But what's going to move the needle today? And that's why I think, like, for me, my biggest thing is I use the power list every single day. I create the 5 income producing or needle moving activities that I have to get done. And what I do is those are the things I don't want to do. Those are the calls, those are the emails, those are the videos, those are the things that take a lot of time, but also take a lot of effort and are sometimes stressful. But I start every day by executing on those 5 things, and I don't touch a single thing until they're done. So I don't do any of these little burning little fires, these little nitpicky emails coming up. I do the 5 things that are going to move the needle for my business every single day, the start of the day. So I feel
Yeah,
like I won the day by the time noon happens. And then the rest of the
that's
things you
awesome.
can let roll. But you got to win the day,
Yeah,
and you got to do the things that are going to move the needle, not the things you want to do.
that's incredible. The power list, everybody, the power list. Pay attention. Can you give us an example of a power list?
Yeah, man. Like, let's look at mine for today. So mine was playing a new like a full marketing plan for one of my clients.
Okay,
I have to set up multiple clients for. I've got 2 clients here that I have to set up for content repurposing with my team. I
nice,
have a full overhaul we have to do for a large entrepreneur. I have to do a video outline for the new 3 VSLs I have to create for my own marketing plans,
nice.
and I have to create a new client service process and culture process for my own company. So those are the 5
Wow.
things that I did today before 2 p.m.
And those sound pretty big. Like
Yeah,
that's not just
and
wow.
but
Okay,
again,
cool.
it's because they're big things, but I'm dialed in. So it's big
Mm,
activities, but I'm like, did I post on Instagram today? No. Did I post on YouTube today? No. I realized that even though those things I might want to have done, I didn't do them because I had shit that's actually important to do.
yeah,
So I'm not doing the thing. I didn't do a single thing I wanted to do today. I did the shit I had to do today. And
yeah.
that's why come, 5:58
For
p.m., I feel like I just won the day.
there's beauty in the trenches, man. That's awesome to hear, and that's super inspiring to know. Like, and get an example of the power list, dude. I love that. That gives me some good food for thought personally. Like, you got me kind of rethinking how the day should look and how it should kick off. So, dude, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it. I hope the audience got a bunch of value out of it. This was actually probably one of our most trafficked ones. So, thank you so much, man.
Of
Like,
course.
doors always open, and I look forward to talking again, man. Thank you.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for sticking on, and we'll be in touch, brother.
Right on. Peace.
All right. Take care.